Welcome to Communing with Divine, a podcast where I share my spiritual quest and the lessons and the insights that I've received from many divine beings and energies during meditation. I am your host, Meraki. Now, let's begin. Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Communing with Divine. I'm so happy that you all are here. I'm just going to get right into it. September the 7th, 2022. I'm with the goddess Aletheia. She's saying that another will come to teach me. I'm hearing knowledge, gnosis. She's Aletheia. She is truth. She's now introducing me to this being, gnosis. I'm thanking him for coming and telling him, you're most welcome here. I see Aletheia as a female and Gnosis as a male. He's going to help me. Okay, he's another part of this whole. I have the sages, Balthazar and Melchior, who I haven't called in yet. And they are wisdom. Aletheia is truth. Gnosis is knowledge, I believe. And they will all be working together along with Mary Magdalene, who I see as embodying mysticism. These are all really important parts of the same puzzle. We don't see everything together. We see things piecemeal. And what these beings represent to me are the parts that come together to create the whole and to help me see the whole. I'm being told that if we leave one of these parts or aspects out, we miss out on experiencing and understanding the whole. There is depth, they are saying. There is depth to knowledge. There is depth to truth. There is depth to wisdom and to mysticism. If we only look at the surface, or if we only look at one part, we will miss so much. So we have to go deep down and draw in all these different aspects together in order to understand what we are seeking, in order to understand the whole. And I am very pleased that they are all here with me today. They're asking me to call in the sages, and so I call upon the sage Balthazar and the sage Melchior. The sages are commenting on the fact that I perceive them in a very bland way, like the colors of their robes are dull. This is true, and I don't know why. They're explaining that I'm not seeing their representations properly for what they really are, but that I will. Mary Magdalene is here. I see her as magnificent, and I'm asking her why she is so clear and vibrant to me, while the sages are somewhat dull. She says that I'm more open to mysticism, which is what she represents to me. She's explaining that I find mysticism easier to understand and process than wisdom, which is what the sages represent to me. She says that I'm also more open to truth as well. She's explaining that I also have some doubt around knowledge, not just my own knowledge, but the knowledge of others as well, because I often feel as if it's based on a lack of truth or filled with a lack of truth. And therefore, it's not really knowledge. They are all coming together in front of me. They are coming together to show me all of their different aspects together. They are telling me that what I'll be shown as they teach me will be proper knowledge. Proper because it will be imbued with the truth, the wisdom, and the mysticism of the ancients. I'm very grateful for this. Balthazar is now changing for me. He now wears bright cranberry. What a beautiful color. He's pleased that I accepted the change I was presented with so easily. This was possible because I had accepted that I was wrong in my original perception. He's saying that this is very important, to be open to accepting that I have misbeliefs and that I can misunderstand and misperceive things, and not to be defensive about it, because that is ego. He's explaining that this is something that many people won't do, or they find very hard to do, because they're so confined by fear and controlled by ego. And these things make them feel threatened by truth. They resist the expansion of truth and knowledge and wisdom within themselves, partly because they don't want to have been wrong. This is what I am understanding from Balthazar at this moment. He is saying that one of my strengths is that I don't mind being wrong, and I don't mind acknowledging to myself and to others that I was wrong, or that I was limited in my understanding at a certain time. And so my perceptions of things may not have been accurate or complete at that time, but I'm willing to recognize that and to be open to growth and further learning. The sage Balthazar is saying that this is very helpful and allows me to receive bigger and ever-evolving messages and lessons and insights, and that I will be able to grow quickly in my understanding. And now the sage Melchior is coming forward. Bright yellow. His robe is bright yellow. I don't even remember what it was before, but what a lovely color. Melchior is explaining that what made me perceive them in a dull or in a muted way, he's showing me I'm seeing a veil of mist, a curtain that I wasn't ready to have pulled back by them or to pull back myself. He's explaining that I have to be ready, or rather, any person has to be ready for this veil to be pulled back. Otherwise, it could be overwhelming for the person, and it would have been overwhelming for me. Even though I have been seeking for them to communicate with me on this higher level, until now, I wasn't ready for what they would be presenting me with. So their muted colors, as I perceived them, was just an extension of the fact that I wasn't ready for what I was seeking. And now I am. And someday, I may be ready for more. The sages are explaining that sometimes I can be too quick to move along, and this is so true. I can be very impatient. And that some of what this group of beings are going to teach me will require long meditations, and sometimes long periods of silence and time to process. Now I'm seeing them all together, from my left to my right. Now, I have to see it that way. I perceive left and right, up and down, even though it doesn't actually exist. But from my left to my right, I see Balthazar, who is resplendent in his cranberry. I see the goddess Aletheia, beautiful as always in her white gown with embroidered colors. I see Mary Magdalene to the center. She's divine looking in her basic white robe and blue shawl and her beautiful dark hair. I see the God Gnosis, the gorgeous and Greek looking being. And I see Melchior, resplendent in yellow. With the God Gnosis, I'm waiting on more things to come through to me. I'll meditate on him and see what comes. I do feel that he is a god or has godlike energy. Breastplate. I'm getting a breastplate. There is something not totally militaristic about him, but I am seeing a breastplate and metal armbands, all of which are gold. And he's wearing sandals, the hard-wearing type. And a sword. He has a sword. I'm understanding that his garb is reflective or representative of the fact that one must fight to protect knowledge, especially divine knowledge or the knowledge of the all. Not fight as in a physical way. It's an energetic or spiritual battle. You must stay true to the knowledge within. The armor is to protect from false knowledge that presents itself as real. I think I got that right. Thank you. The unicorn is here with me now. In case I haven't said this before, I'm sure I have, but in case I haven't, the unicorn represents purity to me. The unicorn is saying that purity will be a part of this group of truth, knowledge, wisdom, and mysticism, even though it's not an integral part of the group. I'm being told that even though it is separate from the group that I was just speaking with, purity is an underlying vibration or an attached vibration to this group, a related vibration. Because without purity, you get distortion. And with distortion, you lose truth, or the meaning of truth is lost. You lose the veracity of the wisdom, the knowledge, and the truth. And the ancient mysticism is twisted. The unicorn is saying that the reason that I love his energy so much isn't because my energy of innocence has purity within it, but because all things that are real and true have purity within them, as a part of them. I'm hearing logos. Logos is the word. I'm assuming like the word of God or the one or the all. The unicorn is saying that the word, the logos, is pure. This is why I see the Archangel Uriel as the same light as the unicorn, because the Archangel Uriel is considered to be the angel of wisdom. The Archangel Uriel reveals God's truth or divine truth to those who seek it, and this act requires absolute purity. Many people and religions believe that the Logos is what brings things into being, but there is more to it. I'm understanding now that the Word of God, or the Logos, is the purity that lives inside all things that have been created, and that this is what attaches or connects all things to each other. The Logos is the purity that anchors everything that has been created to the all. September 11th, 2022. I'm with my higher self. My higher self has just said that a lot is happening and a lot will happen for me over the next few days. That I need to be true to myself and to my vibration, to let my true essence show and shine. And to use my intuition, because they will be communicating to me and with me a lot. I'm seeing a date and a day that will give me the opportunity to apply the culmination of all the things that I have learned so far. It will be an opportunity for me to close and to end old patterns that I no longer need. My higher self is explaining that these patterns were important because the lessons and the growth was important. But that now it's time for me to leave these old patterns behind. I'm actually seeing a child leaving the nursery, leaving that behind and stepping into what is my purpose, why I came here, and what I came to share. He's saying, don't misunderstand that my true essence has been sharing the whole time, my soul. My soul has been shining the whole time. These things are true, but I've done it in a smaller way, and now it's time for me to expand and share outside of my close relationships and small communities. Mary Magdalene has come forth, and she's saying that I will come to understand why it's important for me to allow my soul energy, my true essence, to shine forth. She says that all humanity should do this, that no one should hide their true selves. We should all rediscover and uncover the energy of the one that we hold within us, that resonates within us, and that every individual should honor this and share it with the world. She's speaking about light and darkness and helping me to understand duality and balance. The way that Mary just helped me to understand this is that she showed me my vibration that I perceived as being only light, and then she directed me to go in between all of these many light particles that make up my light. She asked me, "What do you see?" I see space between the light particles. I see darkness. Now, Mary directs me to do the opposite, to pan out and away from my light so that I can see all of our lights, all of us shining our lights individually. And between our individual lights is darkness. Mary then asked me to pan out even further again, so that now I can only see the one light, the all that we are all just a little molecule of, but a part of nonetheless. And even though I can no longer see the darkness, the spaces between, I know it is there, between each and every one of us, between each of the little dots of energy that we are. It is the darkness that binds our energy to itself and connects us together as one. I know I'm not explaining this very well, but it is hard for me. I'll try again though. If you can imagine that we are each, well, I wish I knew more about science, but I don't. But imagine that each of us are maybe atoms. I'll just say that we're atoms. Each one of us is an atom that makes up the one. And within us are like subparticle type things The pattern here is the same whether you look at the microcosm or the macrocosm, vibrating beautiful light particles that are connected and held together by this darkness, which is the ancient energy. You see, it used to be the opposite. The light particles were less emphasized and less numerous, and that quiet, still, peaceful darkness that is the void and is the seat of all that exists in this reality was really all that could be perceived. And then it changed. Now, I don't know why. I don't understand the reason for the change or why this happened, why this was done. But in this reality, at least, it was reversed and light energy burst forth. And so in this universe, in this reality, we are each vibrating lights within the completeness of the one greater light that are held together and are connected through this quote-unquote tissue that is the ether, that is the darkness. And then within our own perceived individual lights, I say perceived individual lights, our particles of lights are held together by the ether or by the darkness as well. It's absolutely mind-blowing, and I wish that I could explain this better. But perhaps it's something that we all have to experience ourselves in our own way and at our own time. Mary is explaining that when we are told that we are all one, this is what is meant. She said that when we are told that our separation isn't real, this is what is being referred to. So what happens is that we accept this perception of separateness. And the only way that we can do that is by not recognizing the darkness as being a part of our energetic makeup. We only recognize the light. But if we can recognize the darkness for what it is and appreciate its role in our existence as part of our energy and of all energy, then the veil, that false reality of separateness, would fall away. It wouldn't exist, and we could see truth more clearly. To move from where humanity sits right now, we need to be able to feel and know that we are one, clearly and in truth. We need to return our vibration to the state that it was at when we entered this conscious reality. So to a vibration of innocence, or rather neutrality. I'm hearing neutrality, and I'm asking why? Why neutrality? I'm understanding that a neutral vibration is energy in a state of balance, a state where duality no longer exists in an active form. With all other states of being, there is duality. Peace has chaos, for example. Love has hate. Health has sickness. Friendships have enemies. Empathy has disdain. Truth has distortion or lies. Ego has conscious awareness. And so forth and so on ad nauseum. A state of energetic neutrality is what is required in this reality to lift the misbelief or the illusion of separateness. Then we will be able to experience our connections with each other and to the all. Part of the gift we receive here as humans allows us to play with energy, to transmute and manipulate it. When we think of changing this type of energy, we often think of turning negative energy into positive energy and vice versa. But we rarely, if ever, think about energy in its original form, which I am understanding to be neutral. Mary is explaining that part of the reason we don't accept neutral energy as it is in its natural form is because we have the ability to manipulate and transmute it. And so we take full advantage of this gift, but we do it without thought or conscious awareness. I guess you could say that we experiment in a way. We change things because we can, and because we don't accept things as they are or as they should be. We don't want to accept the what is. We want things to be the way that we think they should be. And these desires and needs come from ego, not from our true selves. But we need to accept neutral energy for what it is as it is, and we need to fix or correct the mistakes of transmutation that we have done unconsciously and directed by our ego. Because when there is neutrality, there is balance. Neutrality is the proper balance of all energy, and that's what neutrality is. It's the perfect state of completeness and of balance. We are in a constant struggle between the two polarities of the duality in this dimensional reality, swinging between the two, struggling to attain one more than the other in our lives and in our bodies and in our minds, struggling between the swings of our emotions and thoughts and those of other people. And it can be exhausting. What Mary is saying is that where there is neutrality, there is balance. And so duality no longer exists. There is no more struggle. There is no good. There is no evil. There only is the what is. And we are missing this important truth in our understanding of this reality and of our experience. And in the end of the end, not the transitional end that we often focus on, at the end of the end, when all possible scenarios have been played out, both here in this dimensional reality and in the countless others that exist and that will exist, we will return to our proper state, which is neutral and complete. And this completeness includes the balance of light and of darkness. It's not one or the other. The end of the end is not what we think of when we think of the end, as being heavenly or hellish. The end of the end is neutral, because that is the perfect state of existence. There is no need for anything else. September the 12th, 2022. I'm sitting in the darkness within the ether. She's teaching me. I'm experiencing the movement of a lot of energy and vibration. The ether is showing me this because I perceived light as being excited and active and full of vibration and movement. And I thought of darkness as stillness with little to no movement or vibration. But she's showing me that my ideas were not correct. She's explaining that we focus more on the light because of our somewhat limited capability to see or process things other than light. She's not saying this in a mean way, but just as a fact or a truth. She's saying that the activity of vibration and energy of the darkness is not less than that of the light. We just perceive them differently, and we filter their energies through our very limited prisms that only allow us to understand and see a small portion of the all, and we see these parts as separated, which is an illusion that's part of this dimensional reality, for they all are one in truth. They are not separated. She is showing me the divine ones who I call in. They are one in truth, but I break them up into different beings, energies, and vibrations because I can't handle addressing and processing them as a whole. So my prism of perception separates them out in ways that I can understand. And she's telling me there is much more of the divine that doesn't even enter my prism because it's beyond the scope of my ability to understand or to perceive. Most of us are familiar with prisms, the physical prisms that we use to separate out the different individual colors that make up light so that we can see them. But those individual colors are still part of a whole. The colors exist both as themselves and as a whole, depending on how we view them, with or without a prism. Once that we understand that it is the so-called energetic prisms that we use that cause us to perceive separation, then we can begin to free ourselves of this misperception of separation in all forms. From what I am understanding, the challenge for us and the reason that we use these prisms is because we seem to be limited in our ability to accept the concept of all as one. And so the prism becomes a fixed thing, like a crutch, to help us process this experience and all that's in it. The problem with crutches is that they are limiting, and we tend to continue to rely on them even when we should cast them aside. The crutch of the prism prevents us from perceiving truth, which is that we are the all, and the all is us. So the prism is a gift as a tool to help us to begin to learn, to see, to understand, and to explore. It helps us to interact with the all in smaller parts that we can handle. But at some point, this prism becomes something that inhibits our growth. If you think about it, When you're injured and you need the help and support, crutches are a very important tool. But once we have healed, we need to drop the crutches or they will hold us back. They'll impede our ability to accomplish things. They'll impede our growth. Recognizing that the prism exists and that it is a helpful tool, but nothing more, is a huge first step. So I understand what I'm doing by using my prism when I interact with the divine, with the universe, and with the all. I do it with conscious awareness of what I am doing and why, and that the way I'm perceiving these parts is not truth. I've asked the all, the divine, and the universe to help me to grow and to develop to the point that I don't need this prism tool anymore, so that I can interact with the all as one, as itself. It may never happen, but it would definitely never happen if I don't recognize and acknowledge the limitation of my perceptions and open myself up to growth, to truth. This is the same for all of us. If we don't recognize that we are using a tool, a crutch, then we can't move forward because we will accept our perceptions to be truth, our limited perceptions to be truth. No one can grow from a place where they already think they know everything or that they are quote unquote right in their perceptions and their beliefs, because there is nowhere to go from a point of already knowing everything and always being right. So I will continue to use this tool, this crutch that is my prism, as I also try to grow and expand my ability to interact without it. Less and less reliance every day. And with a bit of help from divine, perhaps someday I will be able to leave the nursery. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, and I hope you'll join me again for the next one, episode 15, that hopefully will be out soon. All right, have an amazing day, and thanks again.